shift, turn, shift, throw. Shift, turn, shift, throw. Hey guys, in today's lesson video, let's talk about how to create some momentum in your golf swing so we could have a better time and easier time to throw the golf club towards the target for that effortless speed and power. So what we want to do is we want to create momentum to the top of the backswing and we want to create some momentum in the downswing so we have a easier time throwing an object, especially like a golf club. So what we want to do is, I'm going to grab this impact bag and let's imagine that it's not an impact bag. And let's imagine that it's a very, very heavy kettlebell, like around like 30 kilograms. So what we're going to realize is that if I have a very heavy kettlebell in my hand, it's very hard to just lift up my arms. It's almost impossible. If I have a 30 kilogram kettlebell in my hand, I can't just lift up the kettlebell with my arms. So what we're going to do is naturally we'll swing the weight a little bit forward the opposite direction. If I want to make a backswing with the kettlebell, I'm going to get some momentum the other way, and what I'm going to do is whatever direction I'm trying to rotate into, I'm going to kind of shift into that direction first before I make the turn. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shift towards my right side and then create some momentum to the top of my backswing. And that's how I'm going to throw a heavier object. It's not by just muscling through with my arms. So what we want to do in the golf swing is that a heavy kettlebell, or let's just imagine that this is just a big bag of sand or a big bag of rice. So what we're going to do is if I want to throw this bag of rice into this general direction, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to just throw it in that direction because it's pretty heavy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create some momentum and then throw to the top, and I'm going to create some momentum to the other side. I'm also going to throw into that general direction. So what we want to get at is that to have a easier time throwing the golf club, before we make the initial turn to the top of the backswing, we have to kind of create some momentum and throw the golf club up to the top of the backswing position. So what we want to do is we want to shift our weight first, shift our weight onto our right side, turn, and then shift, and then throw. So right here, I just have a weight shift board, just like a seesaw. And from this position, normally we'll start off at like a 50% weight distribution in our setup position. But for this drill, we're going to start in our left side, in our lead side. So before we rotate to the top of the backswing, before we turn, we're going to shift our weight into the direction that we're trying to rotate into. So it's almost as if we're just falling into our right side. I'll also give you some really good cues and a really good trigger without the board as well. But first off, just for the board, what we're going to do is start on our lead side and we're going to shift our weight into our right side. Then we're going to rotate. Then from this side, now we're going to shift. And then from this position, the most important part is that it's not shift, rotate, shift, rotate. What we're going to feel is we're going to shift, rotate, shift, and then throw the golf club. One more time, we're going to shift, turn, shift, throw. Shift, turn, shift, throw. As soon as you get that general motion in, I think we're going to have a really good time of throwing the golf club effortlessly towards the target. And it's going to be a little tricky at first to create that momentum, but at first, if you can't do it with the golf club, just feel like we're just holding the bag of rice or the big bag of sand and feel like we're throwing a very heavy object in the general direction of the target. What we're going to do is we're never going to just go up with our arms. We're going to create some momentum to the top of the back. We're going to shift our weight first, and then we're going to turn to the top, and then we're going to shift, and then we're going to throw the object towards the target. So now without the board, what we could feel is that ever so slightly in your right heel, just lift up your right heel around like a centimeter. Very, very sudden. And from this position, what I'll do first is I'll start the golf club out in front. What I would do is I would stomp my heel, and while I'm stomping my heel, it's going to feel like my center of mass kind of falls towards my right side. So my heel is off the ground. I'm starting from this position. I'm stomping on the ground. I'm shifting, and then I'm rotating and turning into my top of the backswing position. And then from this position, now I'm shifting and throwing. So all we're doing is we're going shift, turn, shift, throw. And once you get this motion, it's a very gradual throwing motion towards the target. So once you guys get the hang of it, I guarantee you it's gonna be a lot easier to throw a golf club towards the target. And a lot of people might ask, isn't that causing your head to move back and forth? Isn't that causing your center of mass to kind of move all over the place? And what we wanna do is that our body should actually move quite a bit. But if you wanna stay centered, what we're gonna do is once we shift, we're not just swaying off the golf ball. What we're doing is we're shifting our weight a little bit off towards the right, which is true. Then from this position, with proper rotation, my right pelvis is going to actually rotate back towards the target this way. So I'm actually going a shifting motion into my right side, and then I'm recentering, and then I'm throwing the golf club towards the target. So we're not actually kind of moving off of the golf ball. And you guys probably heard a lot about recentering in transition or in the start of the downswing. And if we don't actually shift our weight into our right side, we don't have to recenter. So what we have to realize is that there is a recentering move, and that's why we don't sway off of the golf ball. And for golfers asking, isn't that just our body and our center of mass kind of moving all over the place? And we actually kind of want our center of mass to kind of actually go towards the target. Of course, we don't want our center of mass and just our upper body to go towards the target, but with the initial shift turn, and with the shift, after you shift your weight in transition, then when you throw the golf club, you could kind of feel like the center of mass actually kind of goes towards the target. Just like throwing a punch, we're gonna kind of go into it. I'm not a professional boxer or anything like that, but I would imagine that if you kind of work more into the punch, we're gonna create a little bit more power. So as long as the sequence is correct, which should be shift, turn, shift, throw, then we should not have a problem. So let me try that out. We're gonna go shift, turn, shift, throw. We're gonna go shift, turn, shift, throw. And I guarantee you, if you guys just get this concept into your game, we'll be heading in the right direction. So let me just try that in one gradual motion. Shift, turn, shift, throw. Shift, turn, shift, throw. Hey guys, I hope you guys liked this lesson video. And just to create this easy, effortless speed and power, we have to create some momentum going up and some momentum coming down so we can actually physically throw this golf club towards the target. So if you guys liked the lesson video, please like and subscribe to help my channel grow. And for in-person or online lessons, I'll leave all the information in the description below. Thanks guys.